to realize I cried so much since you've been gone. I guess I'll drown in my own tears. Cry just like a child. I'm pouring tears are running wild. If you don't think you'll be home soon, I guess I'll drown. Oh yes, in my own tears.
I used to bartend a little when I was younger. In this low-key cocktail bar on the downtown east side. Far back, really. Cut limes, pour draft, make two-part drinks. Rum and coke and a bud, that sort of thing. Nothing fancy. Jeff, the guy I trained under, he was a real pro. What you'd call a mixologist in a fancier place. You know the history of cocktails. He was a prohibition buff. Had a big curly mustache and a pompadour. And would make drinks with Amargo bitters and Cynar and slow gin and a bunch of other shit that usually just sits around getting sticky. He was a real artist about it too. He'd talk to someone for a few minutes, walk away, and come back with something he worked up on the spot that perfectly fit their taste. Ladies loved him. Guys all bought him drinks. Now, when you make classic cocktails, you use a tool sometimes called a muddler. Just half a mortar and a pestle, just a little stick with a rounded edge. You use it to crush mint or sugar into liquor, and they're usually no bigger than a cigar tube. But Jeff had a muddler he made himself. It was nearly a foot long, made of industrial plastic, and heavy as hell. I'm serious. This thing must have weighed about 3 pounds, which doesn't sound like much, but when you make 1,000 drinks a night with it, you really start to feel it. And so one night, this new kid gets kind of fed up with the thing. Asks Jeff why he's always using this big fucker instead of something less ridiculous. So, he tells the kid a story. You see, back in the 90s when Jeff started bartending, he didn't really have a lot of money for gear. And back then, there weren't 1,000 websites selling barware, just a few magazines and newsletters for cocktail enthusiasts. So, instead of mail ordering a muddler, Jeff made one himself. His father was a plumber. So he borrowed this hunk of plastic, carved it himself, sanded it down, and polished it. Then he brought it to work at this fancy cocktail lounge. All the other bartenders made fun of him for it. Called it the dildo. Said it looked like a big, black dick. I guess they had a point. So one night, Jeff's working at this club. And a guy kicks open the kitchen door wearing a balaclava and pointing a gun in Jeff's face. Everyone at the bar freezes. Everyone in the whole damn club freezes. Jeff points down by the beer fridge where they kept their float, and this guy gets down on his hands and knees and starts shoving cash in his pockets. Now, Jeff was halfway through making this mint julep for this Kentuckian visiting from Louisville. He just started crushing up the mint, so he had this muddler in his hand, this big black dick of a thing. And he looks down, and this guy's balaclava's riding up, so you can see the lower part of his neck, like where the skull meets the nape, where a dog would pick up her puppy. And so he raises the muddler in the air over the guy's head, and he brings it down like the hammer of the gods. And that guy went from robbery suspect to the honored dead, faster than you could blink. Next thing you know, Jeff wipes off the muddler, finishes the mint julep, and serves it up at the bar to the Kentucky gentleman on a cocktail napkin. He calls the police. Nobody really makes fun of Jeff for anything anymore. Hey, is she okay?
Her? Yeah, she's in here every night.
so?
She can take care of herself.
I can make you laugh. I can make you think. I can make you breathe heavily. I can make you want to do naughty things. And I can make you want to marry me. I can wake you up. And I can put you to sleep. I can avoid you and make you feel worthless. And I can make you feel loved, and needed, and wanted, and sexy. And I can make you feel nothing at all. How many drinks have you had? Enough to talk to you. Too many to fuck me. How many times do I have to call you pretty to wake you up? Would you like to see a magic trick? Where are you from? What was it like there? Was it big? Small? Do you miss it? What was your family? I can make you laugh. What can I get from you? A night? A week? A year? Who are you? Are you someone's daughter? Someone's wife? You have something for me. I will find it. I always do.
Who are you? Are you a good boy or a bad boy? Sit. You know, there's nothing about you that I find interesting. Not one thing. Speak.
I can make you.
Bad boy. Do a trick for me. Good boy. What else can you do? Can you play fetch? I can make you beg. Not in bed. Not like a dominatrix. Not with your words. I can make you beg with every inch of your being. How you hold a door, how you offer to buy a drink, pay for a cab. I can make you beg with how quickly you start to sweat when I don't come back from the bathroom for 10 minutes. 15. 20. I'll forget your number. I'll never like your photos. I'll unfollow you, unfriend you. I'll become a ghost. And yet, good boy.
When I was 15, I took a swing at a cop outside a club called The Pit. In that kind of neighborhood, that seems to swallow everything clean and spit it back out dirty. It was 1 in the morning, and I'd just been ejected from the club after sneaking in to see a punk band called Wasted Youth. And I just drank a quart bottle of Jack Daniels, and I took a pill from a stranger in the bathroom. It was stupid, I admit. But in my defense, when I swung at the cop, I thought he was trying to arrest me. People who have never been arrested, people who have never thrown a punch, broken a window, or stolen something, they really haven't understood what it is to be human. To be human is a contradiction of intentions. You want to be kind, loving, friendly, and open to the joys of your fellow man. Then, you tip some gasoline down your throat, and you don't want to be friends anymore. You want to break things. Furniture, bottles, phones, promises. Give me a museum full of all my favorite works of art. And 5 drinks later, I'll be heating my house with Picasso. There's only one thing better than a well-organized house, and that is dousing it with petrol and watching it burn. These kind of people don't make sense to me. What's your story, love? Boring.
I first met Johnny in rehab. It was his 4th time through. He must have thought he was the lunatic running the asylum in there, pissing off all the therapists, breaking all the stupid rules. He acted like a political prisoner, not someone who had been popped for DUI for driving his mother's Mercedes. Yes, his mother's, at 30. Very punk rock. He'd probably say he loves me. He'd probably say I broke his heart. He might be telling the truth. Who knows? Johnny,
Yes, love?
what did you say to me the first time you met me?
Let me think. I just tried to knock over a soda machine to get my change back. And then an orderly tackled me to the ground and was shoving a needle full of Therazine into my thigh. And I looked up and I saw you in your slippers and scrubs. And I said,
Has anyone ever told you it's very rude to come to the door in your dressing gown? He calls me sometimes, drunk out of his mind, begging me to come pick him up. I always answer. Usually I just put the phone on the counter and let him talk to the air. Mostly he just likes the sound of his own voice, but who doesn't? He calls and calls and calls, but if I were to ask him right now, he wouldn't be able to tell you why he calls me and no one else. He wouldn't be able to articulate why he calls me any more than he could tell you why he punches a cop or breaks a window. He's a walking id with a drinking problem. He's a fool. But he's my fool.
darkest days, my pastor came to my home and told me that God always tests the ones he loves. He told me that these times would pass and that I would be stronger for it. And that this was all a part of the Lord's plan. Well, I told him to take his Bible and his collar and his parables and advice, to go bury a child, and then come back to me and tell me about God's love. I was your typical choir girl. Celibate, chaste, good grades, and nice parents. I met my sweetheart in the 9th grade, and we dated until graduation, and got married the following September on a bright Saturday morning. Our church didn't do wedding services on Sundays. We settled down in a small apartment in a nice neighborhood and had our first child, Tess. Tess was born premature and developed a lot of health complications because of it. But she was a fighter, and she battled on and made it past her 2nd birthday before. Well, you've seen the movies. Tears, yelling, blaming, why God, why? All of that nonsense. No point to it, really. Life comes and goes, in and out. Always been that way, and always will be. My husband disappeared into a bottle, as men often do, and when he came out, I told him I was through with him. I couldn't be with someone who broke so easily. I left the church as well. All they had to offer were simple platitudes and cross-stitch philosophy, and had nothing to say of substance when faced with the stark reality of death. Now, things are so very strange. I was married at 18 to a high school sweetheart. I went to church. I was probably considered naive by my classmates, my friends, my family even. They likely thought that I would be missing out on all of the lessons in life by committing myself too early to that life. Well, now look at me. I'm only 24 years old, but I've been married, divorced, lost my faith, lost my child. I've lived every inch of life a woman twice my age would have lived by now. I like to think that this is what it would have been like in the frontier days. Those old photos by Ansel Adams, hardened men and stoic women, all that open wilderness, death around every corner, and all they could do was face it, like a child faces every new day. I counsel young mothers to be now, those who don't know what to do about their predicaments, whether they're ready for what life has in store for them. I always tell them the same thing. Life is very strange. That's what I've learned. Too strange to have all the answers, but never too strange to stop asking questions. Never stop asking why. Just stop short of asking, why me?
New Zealand is one of the newest wine exporting countries in the world, known for its rich Pinot Noir and zesty Sauvignon Blanc. From regions as populous as the Marlborough Valley, to the Otago regions in the north, to native Maorio regions in the south, the vitality and diversity of New Zealand's wine regions are what sets it apart. With a population of just over 4 million, but with over 2 million different wine labels, isn't it impressive when people can just rifle off so much information off the top of their heads? Wine knowledge is a funny specialization. People, usually middle-aged people, are always commenting that I'm awful young to know so much about wine. So much information! And at your age! What age am I supposed to learn things? When I'm 40 and fat and depressed like you? I started becoming interested in wine in boarding school. My parents sent me off to a posh little number called Académie Américaine in the south of France, so that they could spend my school year gambling about in the Alps and sunning themselves in Portugal, while my father embezzled half the money in the known universe in order to pay for it all. I was starved of attention and supervision, but what the Rhone Valley lacked in malls and dances and the other trappings of teenage life, it made up for with wine. I learned early that if I knew how to order wine, how to identify wines by regions, how to purchase, organize, and describe it, I was afforded a certain amount of respect from my elders. This intrigued me, so I endeavored to learn more. After boarding school, I decided to forgo college and instead spent 2 years in the Mosel Mountains of Germany learning about Riesling. After that, I went to Japan and studied horticulture. From there, I attended wine school in Paris, first as an apprentice, then as a professional. And then I joined the International Sommeliers Guild, and after 5 years, became the youngest master of wine in the world. There are less than 100 people on this earth who have achieved the status of Master of Wine, and I am one of them. But I have a secret to my success. I hate wine.
Telling stories is half the job. Would you like to see a magic trick?
This place would look so much more interesting with some broken windows.
Her name was Tess.
I can't change now.
The only difference between loneliness and independence is honesty.
If you love something, let it go and it might jump off a bridge.
Just one more day.
Just one more chance.
I can't change now.
Just don't talk too much.
Don't lie to me.
Don't forget her.
Don't laugh at me.